Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode from the Bobber build series. And today we're going to be installing performance mods, specifically engine performance mods. Starting with the Airbox Delete Kit from classic Bike Raisch with the beautiful pod filters to push more air into the engine. Silver stock headers replacing the black matte original headers on the Bobber Black. Also an X-Pipe Delete Kit from Moztreet Customs. And of course the beautifully crafted reverse cone slip-ons from Hitchcox motorcycles. Shout out to the legend Tom. And lastly, with all that air going in and a lot coming out, we need to install a new map. Let's get into it. All right, looks like we're gonna remove these monotone brackets later and use the other ones, the other flat brackets set that I have. We have to install the sensor that was on the left box. All right, boys, so we ran into two issues. The first one is that this bracket from Moztreet will not fit this plate from Classic Bike because it doesn't have that piece of plastic that the original Airbox had. So we need to swap this with the other brackets from Moztreet. I'll show you in a bit. And regarding this breather, the crankcase breather, the connection on the crankcase where it goes into the hose was a little too tight, so I had to wrap it up with electrical tape to make it a little bit thicker. I pushed it in and then locked it with this. It is not going anywhere, and I think it should be sitting like this somewhere on the bottom. Yeah, not bad. But for the first issue, in order to replace these brackets, we need to pull the indicators out. And in order to pull the indicators out and put them in the new brackets, we need to remove the rear wheel and the rear mudguard. Oh, fucking hell. Okay. All right, as far as I can see, we have a slightly bent license plate, which is easily replaceable. Nothing here. This is going to be changed, swapped anyway. I don't see anything on the engine. We have a little bit of this with scuffed paint. These are actually recently powder coated, so we could fix that, repaint them again. This does not seem. We have a slight scratch on the mirror. Nothing serious, but we have a dent. I don't know if you can see it. There's a slight dent. There it is in the tank. I think we could buff that out. We'll see. I learned the hard way that you should never keep your bike on a stand like this without it being strapped. It's not as stable as I want it to be, but All right, so we put everything back, the wheels back, the rear fender, and we finally properly mounted these rear brake indicator system, the 3-in-1 for Pico. And we have the covers installed. I think they're installed in the right way. This one kind of looks a little bit crooked, but I don't think so. It's probably because of this piece, plastic. Anyway, now let's move everything properly, tidy it up. Maybe tie this right here. This is the OBD connector. We need that later to install the map from TuneECU. We need to basically add a Bluetooth connector so it can connect to the phone. And yeah, this shock needs to be replaced with probably an Öhlins shock in the next episode. Let's get the pod filters on and then start with the exhaust system. All right guys, you know what time it is. We just took a quick break, coffee and a soda. We got the filter beautifully installed and I think it looks so cool. And it should sound absolutely amazing as well. Next step, remove the silencers, the headers and the X-pipe. Now I heard that the X-pipe is a pain in the ass to remove because you need to remove the side a part of the frame, the side part of the frame. So basically, after removing the headers, I need to unscrew these all the way down, pull them out so I could have access to the X-pipe. We'll see how it goes. Keep in mind that the weather is very hot. It's about 32 degrees Celsius. And I'm trying my best as quickly as possible to finish this in about 3 to 4 hours. Let's go. And now for the next step, it is time to fit the headers. All right, boys, it is time for one of my favorite mods to install on a motorcycle, which is an exhaust. Slip-ons, full system, doesn't matter. In this case, we have slip-ons, but with the X-pipe removed, the same stock headers as the black ones. We have a nice free flow. These are pretty much also open, but they have a baffle inside and an open DB killer. We have two final steps before we turn on the bike and listen to this beautiful exhaust. Pod filters. First step is cleaning these pipes because they have a lot of finger marks, hand marks, a lot of grease. And then we need to install the map from Classic Bike Raisch, which is the stage 5 map that supposedly will increase up to 21 horsepower. And I forgot what the torque was. I'll just show it on the screen. this is how Classic Bike provides the tune on a USB. Transfer the file to your phone, get an OBD Bluetooth connector, connect it to Tune ECU, and then you can install the map. There's a PDF file that you have to read, and you can find everything on there. Whew. It's hot. Let's go. Installing the tune, the map on this bike is pretty straightforward. It's easy. And if you have some knowledge and you're a do-it-yourself kind of guy, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is transfer the tune, the map from the USB to your computer and then to your phone, or maybe just directly to your phone, and then download an app called Tune ECU. And what Tune ECU basically does is paste the map on your ECU. So in order to connect this app to your motorcycle, you will need an OBD reader. I got this OBD link about 1 year ago from Amazon or eBay. All you need to do is connect this to the OBD connector, disconnect the headlight, connect the battery to a battery charger, go to Tune ECU, download that from their website, create an account and a license. The license costs about 26 to 27 euros. The next step after you transfer the file to your phone, you go to Map, you search for the file. Right here it's called Map Stage 4, and this is my name. Tap it. So once you have the map on your screen, you turn on the switch, turn the ignition on, go to ECU and connect it to OBD Link LX. This is the OBD model that I have. Click on ECU, reprogram. Reprogramming your bike with this tool will void the warranty. Are you sure you want to proceed? We do. Continue. Remove the headlight fuse and connect a battery charger. This is a warning. Another warning we have is incorrect values can damage the engine. Confirm to reprogram the ECU, and it's working. Reprogramming in progress. 2 minutes. Now it's at 5%, 6, 7. Warning, turn the ignition off, disconnect the battery charger, replace the fuse, then turn the ignition on and start the motor. Okay, let's do that. This is it. We're gonna turn on the motorcycle, give it a few revs. We're not gonna go crazy right here because this is a quiet neighborhood and we don't want to disturb the peace. I don't want to go crazy. And then after that, we might go to the dyno and really check how much horsepower this engine is really making on the rear wheel. All right, so with the performance mods and with the tune and the exhaust without the DB killers, so it could breathe a little bit more, but I do have the DB killers on at the moment. They're open, DB killers are not shut. This bike, or this power kit, should provide us an increase of 21 horsepower and 23 Newton meters overall. Now the peak power is 19, probably at the highest RPM, and the peak torque is 9 Newton meters. Yeah, the max speed limit is removed. The stock is limited to 179 kilometers an hour. If you remove that with the proper tuning, performance mods, and of course, if you want to remove the sprocket and change the whole sprocket kit, the bike may reach over 200 kilometers an hour. I know it's not built for speed, but since this is a race bobber, at least it's good to know that we could ride over 200 kilometers an hour. I think I need to take this mic off and put it away because this might be too loud. That's way too loud. All right, let's put this right. I see that it's peaking, so as expected, the bike is very loud and it sounds pretty amazing. We're gonna take it out for a ride, see how the engine performs after we did the tune, all the modification parts, the exhaust, the cat delete, the pod filters installed, and of course, most importantly, the tune. Let's get the cameras, get on the bike, take her out for a ride. After that, we're gonna go to a dyno and see how much this engine is pushing to the back wheel. We're right now we're going on the highway. The exhaust sound has completely transformed the sound of the motorcycle and the feel of the ride itself. It sounds mental. Wow, listen to those pops. Amazing. Tom from Hitchcox Motorcycles has done a fantastic job on these reverse cone slip-ons. They look absolutely beautiful. They sound mental. On neutral revs, when you don't give it any gas, it's quiet. It's not very loud. But as soon as you give it gas, and this is in third gear. And of course, this has a lot to do with removing the catalytic converter as well. So there's more airflow going to the exhaust from the X-pipe, and it sounds amazing. Downshifts are beautiful. And another thing I noticed is the sound of the pod filters. You could actually really hear them. This is what the bike has been missing. Let's give it in first. I'm pretty sure the wheel's gonna slip though. Oh my god! Alright, oh, these pops. Yeah, the power has definitely increased on the motorcycle. Whoa, there we go. But the question is, by how much? Is it really 21 or 19 peak power or less? I mean, this is not a new bike. It's a used bike with 20,000 kilometers. And I mean, it's not much, but I don't know how the previous owner treated the bike. Let's give it a second from 3,500 RPM. 3, 2, 1, 4,000. Wow. Amazing. Any cops ahead? Nope. Pretty sure the recorder right now is peaking, or you could hear a lot of distortion because the SPL on the Zoom H1N that I have in my pocket is 125 dB. I'm pretty sure the exhaust is pushing over 125. Right guys, so we barely got the bobber on the dyno because, you know, it's low. what we have on the dyno on this bike is 85 wheel horsepower, and for the torque we have 102. This is the first and second run. He did 4 runs, but the first 2 were inaccurate because the system wasn't reset. It was set on a previous motorcycle that had over 9,300 RPM. This bike only has 8,000, and this is obvious. This is the 8, and then this is where it cuts off. These are the 2 runs, one on top of the other, and this is the engine power from the dyno, and this is the torque. So it's between 83 to 85, 86, maybe 87 if the bike is cool enough. But in general, these results are fantastic. And I'm assuming if I remove the DB killers from 2 of these exhausts, I will reach pretty much the 95 horsepower that Classic Bike Raisch mentioned on their website. The DB killers usually hold back the power, and it told me if you remove these, it's gonna have over 90 horsepower. I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm pretty stoked. Let's ride back home and maybe check the top speed on the road without filming it and see how fast I can go. Now it is 6:45 p.m. Pretty sure the roads are kind of empty, not as crazy as rush hour. And as you guys noticed and saw, that the top speed on the dyno was 280 plus kilometers an hour. And this bike does not reach that top speed, of course, because it doesn't really have that much power. The air resistance is gonna push me back. That's pretty much it. Really happy with the results, and see you in the next one.